Hey y'all, my name is Leah and welcome to my very first junk journal video. As a teacher, I've made lots of videos over the last couple of years, but this is my first sharing my other passion, which is paper crafting. So for the last 40 plus years, I have been making scrapbooks and cards, but I kind of hit a little bit of a funk, which I think most people can probably relate to, and I was looking for something different. And so I had always seen junk journals, but wasn't really sure what to do and how to put them together, and hadn't really dived into it. And so in July, I saw a post on Pinterest, I think, with something about Junk Journal July. And I was like, oh, what is that? And found this really cool little list. So each day you did a different prompt. And I had such a good time doing that. I put together a little envelope journal and just bound it with binder rings. And so I'll do a video about that later on. But then I was hooked after I did that. And so I decided, okay, I started joining a bunch of different Facebook groups and watching a lot of YouTube videos, went down the rabbit hole, and learned all about making signatures and how to do that. So I came across this kit from Junk Sisters Journals, who have this amazing Etsy shop that I am in love with. And they had this autumn kit that I just thought was so beautiful. And so I got that, and that's where a lot of my papers and ephemera and just little bits and bobs are coming from that kit. So let's take a little look inside. So just have a little sari silk tie. The cover is made out of this really beautiful pre-decorated. The stamping was already on there. They had it folded as a trifold, and it had all of the papers that came in the kit tucked inside of it. So I unfolded that just to give it that single crease down the center where I could add my signatures. And then it did have the crease here and on the back, and so I just added some lace and some ribbon to cover that up, and I think that turned out really well. I like that. Inside the kit, there were lots of little pieces of ephemera that were stitched, and I thought that was really fun. I don't sew very much. My mom is a huge sewer and my husband is a sewer, but I've learned how to do a little bit of stitching, and that's about it. So, but I love the look of it, so I thought that was really fun. They had this beautiful scroll piece of wood, and I really liked that to add a little dimension and texture to the cover. And then they had this really pretty little dangle, and so I added that to the inside. So when we open it, all right, so this cover has some texture paste that I mixed in a couple of colors of distress ink and put it through a stencil, and so made that little design there. Inside the kit, there are lots of fussy cut images, and so I love butterflies. My mom is a huge butterfly fanatic, and so I incorporate them in little places throughout the things that I make. And so with this one, I just stamped it with some Versamark ink and then put on some holographic embossing powder. And so you can kind of see, hopefully, that it has a little bit of shine, and then just added some shimmery thread on there to make the antenna. I have this little hidden paper clip, little bookmark there, and I'll include a link to that. I know you guys have probably seen those, but there's lots of different fun ways to do those with just some layering. That's the other side of that. I have just this little tuck here and a little cluster, little tag here, a little tuck here with a little bit of vellum and a cluster, and then just made this little tag and backed it. So one of the things that I love about Junk Sisters journals is when they package things, the way they do it is just so beautiful. So they just think of all these little ways to make things look really pretty. So instead of wrapping things in just a plain paper bag, they've embossed their paper bags. And so, of course, I've learned with junk journaling that you don't throw anything away, and you can always repurpose things. So I cut them apart and just used some pinking shears. This was the edge, so I kind of used that edge, and then you can see some of that embossing there. And then I love these little vintage looking brads. I remember using some of those in a scrapbook that I made years ago. So I was so excited to see those in the kit, because I've long used them and was like, oh, I wish I had some of those. Another thing that I got from them was this card that had lots of pieces of vintage lace and vintage sheets, strips of it in vintage fabric. And so it's on this really pretty bobbin card. And so I thought that would make a really cool journaling piece. As soon as I saw the card, I was like, oh, I know I'm going to use that. This is some more of that wrapping paper. And then I just added a little bit of distress ink. And then this doily was so cute. It was at the top of this package, so they just had it in a cellophane bag and then had the doily wrapped on top in half, folded in half, and then stapled to the top. So I thought that was really cute. And then as I noticed, as I had put it in the belly band, it was sliding through, and so I just added a little button from the kit in there to act as a little stop. These girls I thought were really cute. Again, this was one of the little fussy cut images. I'm a child of the 70s, and so my mom, like I said, sews a lot. And so she had always had patterns, and I used to love to just look at her patterns and go through those. And so these remind me of some of the girls that were on some of those pattern pages. So just have a little tuck here with some lace, and a little card there. Another little journaling spot here. This is these really cool, they were wallpaper papers, and so they had kind of the beige edge on them, and then you can cut them apart. And I just took my scissors and kind of roughed up the edges a little bit more. But this was a printable, and I will link that below. It was really a beautiful set that I really liked. So another little bookmark tag using some of that packaging. And then I really like just this little piece of fabric that looks like, a ruler kind of thing. Love the idea of using a card in the inside, even if you cover up some parts of it. I just think it gives kind of a cool texture. The paper, a lot of the papers that I used, if they weren't part of the kit, I used from a pack called Old World that I got from Joann's. And so that's kind of, it had the perfect colors that kind of matched with the look that I was going for. This is a fun little pocket fold, and I'll share that in the link below. So it has pockets here, here, and another one here. So that was really cute. Another little bookmark here, or a paper clip, hidden paper clip here. This is a fun find from Dollar Tree. It is this mesh that comes on a roll, and it's got like this white stuff that's attached to it. It reminds me of the popcorn ceilings, just kind of that little puffy stuff. And so it manipulates really well, and so that's been a lot of fun to use. And then just some dyed cheesecloth here. I have a little journaling card there. Doily, another little, this was one of those coin envelopes, the little coin tubes that you do, so I just covered that, and then have a little tag there. This is another piece of that wallpaper, another little journaling spot there. This is player piano. It's a roll of player piano paper. They had some pieces of it in there, and then when I did my next order from them, I liked this so much that I actually bought the whole roll. And there's so much on there. You can do a lot of things, and it comes in a really pretty box on the vintage spool. And so I have plans for how I'm going to use that. Just these fun little clips that I got from AliExpress. I really like those, just to add a little more dimension to the page. This was another one of those stitched elements that they had in there. There's beautiful papers. This came in the kit, so a lot of them I didn't want to do a whole lot to because they were just so pretty on their own. So just added a little corner tuck there, some writing space. I am an English teacher. I love words, so I have lots of little pieces with like books and places to write. So this is some really fun lace that I got from AliExpress that I love, and I thought it went really well with this background paper. It was a little printable I had, and it just has a little pocket there. This was a playing card that came in the kit, and I just covered it with some of that player piano paper, and then inked the edges. But I liked it because the player piano paper is not completely opaque, and so you can still see some, you can still see the card through that, so I thought that was a fun little element there. Got to bust out my flowers. I had a bunch of these from when I was doing cards and scrapbooks and stuff, and so I had kind of tucked some things away, and so I was able to pull some of those out again. This was a little greeting card that was in the kit. I don't know what this thing is, but he looked kind of cute, so I just put "There's no place like home" little sticker that I found, because he looks like he's at home in the trees, and it's really fun. And on the back, this is another piece of that paper bag that I just cut off the corner of it, made a little tuck out of that, add in some silk or some lace to that. There's lots of pieces of of wallpaper in the kit, so that was really fun. There's an old envelope that, just a little notebook out of some notebook papers that I had found. This is another piece of that wallpaper digital kit. And then this, I just got a new printer, a new laser color printer, and I was trying to figure out how to double side print, and I had these 2 pages, and I ended up putting the paper in the wrong direction, and so it printed on top of the image that I already printed, but I really like it, and so it's my happy little accident, channeling some Bob Ross in there. Just a little flip here, doily, some more of that vintage wallpaper, which is like my vintage. I remember, I don't think they had this exact one, but it's that harvest gold and avocado green, and forgot what the orange was called, but our house was built in 1977, so we had a lot of things with these colors in it, and I was born in 73, and so I remember a lot of places, people's houses and things that had a lot of stuff in that color, so that was fun. Just another little card. I love including doilies. I've been collecting lots of little doily pieces. My grandma always crocheted, and so these remind me of her, so I love that. Found just a little quote for fall. It says, "And the sun took a step back, the leaves lulled themselves to sleep, and autumn was awakened," from Raquel Franco. And then this I found at the Goodwill we have one of the outlets nearby, and so I stopped there once a week and kind of see, but it was a menu planner tablet, and so I thought that was fun, and the paper looks old. I don't know how old it was, or if it was just like left out in the sun, so it looks a little vintagey, so I like that. This, I just took some sari silk and ran a piece of tape and then just bunched it up with my fingers, so I really like that piece there. This paper was in the kit, and as soon as I saw it, I knew this was going to be the center of my signature. I just thought these little owls were so cute. This is some more of that mesh that I got from Dollar Tree, and then it just says "Let life surprise you," because they're just a happy little surprise on the center. So this was one thing I knew I was going to use. This is something else I knew I was going to use from the kit. So this came in the kit. It was tucked in the pocket. The whole kit came in this little adorable little fabric bag, and then this bag was tucked into one of the pockets and was filled with lots of the ephemera and stuff. And so it was already decorated like this, and so I just used it as is and then added in some old school paper. I remember 1977 kindergarten, learning how to write my letters and all of those things in there. There's another piece of that wallpaper, and then just a little journaling card here, a little time card here with that fun wallpaper. This, again, like I said, I'm not throwing anything away anymore. My husband laughs at me. But this was the cover to the Old World paper pad that I was using, and so it had, they always have the grid showing you what's in the paper pad, and so I cut that apart. I thought that would make a cute little background, and then just added some sari silk there. A little pocket here, and then another paper clip there, that side. This was a fun little foldable that I did. My parents live in Texas and I'm in Oregon, and so we haven't seen each other since 2019, pre-COVID. My mom is immunocompromised, and so I haven't been able to get down there to see her because we're super nervous about her getting sick. And so she and I Zoom craft every weekend and on any of my holidays. And so this was one of the things that we made together. So it reminds me of her, and it was just a fun little piece to do. And it was one of the first things that I stitched. So my husband set me up on the sewing machine and taught me how to sew, because I don't know how to sew. My mom sews, my husband sews, my father-in-law sews, and my mother-in-law sews. Not me. So this was a bag that some ephemera came in from AliExpress, and I loved it. I thought it was really pretty. And then again, I had this beautiful paper that I didn't want to do very much too, because it was just so pretty. And so I thought it made a really lovely background for these ladies. It's like they're talking in the woods kind of thing. Another little flip here, some more of that piano player paper, or player piano paper. Little yo-yo, that just reminds me of the 70s. Little sticker card there. Fun little old vintage postcard. And just some layers of paper and that wallpaper. This is some more of that stitched ephemera they had. Just a little tuck there. One spot there. Some more journaling space. This was just a little receipt pad that I found at Dollar Tree, I think. So I thought that would be good for writing. That one there with a little cluster, little tab. I thought this was just a really cool, this was a vintage photo, and you could write on the back there, and then just added that little butterfly. This is some Italian paper from a book in Italian, and some little card there, and I love these little itty bitty paper clips I got. I'm originally from New Orleans, and so I try to find little pieces of ephemera that remind me of home, and so this was a postcard from Antoine's restaurant, which is a very famous restaurant down there. And then the music, New Orleans is known for its music, and so I thought that was a good spot to tuck that in. Some stickers that I just used as a belly band, a little Tim Holtz card, more doily. This is just the background of this paper was just, it's almost like a vellum paper. It's really pretty. A little more journaling space there. And then this was funny. Some burlap ribbon that I was on this page finishing up the journal and knew that I wanted a belly band, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And my husband walked upstairs with the package, and he's like, oh, this came in from Amazon for you. And so I was like, oh, perfect. I needed that. And then just a little card there. And then to finish it off, I mixed up some more of that texture paste with my ink and did a bigger version of the stencil on the front. So that is the whole thing. Thanks for joining me. Hope you got some ideas. I'll put some links below to places where I got ideas. Thank you to all the people who have inspired me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.